Leading things off, 16 years ago today, on September 11th, our nation faced a senseless act of terror as 4 airplanes were hijacked and 2 flew into the Twin Towers at the World Trade Center, 1 flew into the Pentagon building, and 1 flew into a field in Pennsylvania where Vice President Pence is visiting this morning. Hundreds of firefighters and first responders came to the scene. However, attacks left close to 3,000 people dead. Following these events, BronxNet's Derek Woods has a story. He spoke to some firefighters.
343 New York City firefighters died when the towers fell on the 11th. That is, 1 in every 33 members of the department is now gone. My brother is a New York City firefighter. He came home on the 11th, but many of his brothers did not. I recently spoke to some Bronx firefighters to discuss how they're learning to deal with the tragedy. Guys, in the aftermath, where did you find consolation?
I was going to say consolation with our families and really our fellow firefighters, you know, that understand we're all in the same boat. We understand, you know, what has occurred, and we've all gone through the same emotions and experience, you know, in the last month. And I was saying earlier today that it's difficult to relate right now to people on the outside of the job. You know, they don't really realize what has occurred.
Following the attack, I know, I mean, I literally, when I heard a loud bang, I was a little turning my head. How did you guys focus on the job?
Fires have to go out. Fires have to go out. When that goes off, conversation at the table ends, and you get on the rig. And boss is yelling out, it's Kelly and 156th Street. And, okay, the 6-story building, and what is your assignment? What are you going to do? And you got to go do it. There's no second guessing yourself or anything else. You go in, you put the fire out.
It's a matter of getting back to your routine. You know, there's certain things you do, like Red was saying, you pay attention to what address it is. You're doing a size up. Once you're getting back into the regular routine, you're not thinking about the guys we lost. You're thinking about the job at hand.
Thank you, Derek Woods. Now, 16 years later, we hit the streets to see the reaction of Bronx residents about the day and moving forward.
On 9/11, when I first found out, I was in the subway, 59th Street. A friend of mine came up to me and started banging the window and said, "Get off the train, get off the train, get off the train."
Well, when it happened, I was in class. I was sitting in a room I forgot what we were learning. I think it was like doing numbers or something like that. And then all of a sudden, like, they stopped class, they rolled in a TV, they put it on, and like we saw what was happening. And then parents started picking us up from school, and like everybody just started leaving slowly. And then we went home and started watching the news, and it was like the whole day, all the news channels were just showing in how it was progressing.
When 9/11 occurred, I was working at a CPA firm located above Grand Central, and I happened to be listening to the radio, and a special report came in, and they said a plane had hit one of the World Trade Centers. So initially, I just thought, some idiot pilot just probably hit the World Trade Center. I didn't really think that much of it. But then when they said a second plane hit, that's when I knew something was up.
Well, it changed. The electronics changed, because as soon as that happened, technology changed, Bill Gates and everybody, they turned the switch on, and now you can't walk in the street without being captured on video. Everything's on video now. Everything's on video. So that's what changed.
The presidency and how Trump acts towards people and things like that. So I'm just like, oh, get these people out of here and things like that. I don't feel like, I'm safe or like I belong or anything like that.
I believe every time it comes around, I call the same people. It was tough. It was tough.
We will never forget. Throughout the show, we will have more. I remember covering it that day for 1190 WLIB and 107.5 WBLS. In spite of all the things that were happening that were negative, I remember the love and camaraderie that took place on that day and the days after. And I hope we don't have to wait for times of sympathy to get back into that love that I felt that day. We're going to take a quick break right here, but coming up next, we'll look at what one group is doing to make sure the community heads out to the polls. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.